Miraculous Ladybug has had its ups and downs, but so have its characters. So today we are starting a new series where we take a look back at the high points and low points of the characters, starting with someone who is surprisingly quite polarizing, Marinette herself.
Hi, I'm Trick.
And I'm not.
Welcome to Trick Nut, where we discuss all things miraculous, from the lore to the love squares. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep up with all the latest content.
So Marinette Dupanchang is a dynamic character. She's all over the place with her anxiety, fear of people finding out her secret, the ramifications of being in love with a celebrity, trying to keep up with her friends, pursuing her dream of being a fashion designer, competing in a video game competition, babysitting a future supervillain, spontaneous international travel, and what's the thing she does with that mouse bug mouse thing?
Save Paris. But I suppose you'd be a little all over the place too if you were the imaginary offspring of Thomas Asterisk and the ex that broke up with him, but he's totally over it. Like, so totally over.
Totally. We wanted to go over the top 5 best and worst things that Marinette Dupanchang has done. And just to be fair, in part 2 of this episode, we'll do the same ranking for when she's acting specifically as Ladybug. So without further ado,
Marinette's worst moments. Number 5. The Absent Babysitter. It was established literally in the first episode of the show, Stormy Weather, that Marinette babysits Manon, or at least Manon's mother, Nadia, thinks she does. In Stormy Weather, Alia gets Marinette all distracted with Adrian, and later Marinette ditches again to go turn into Ladybug and fight the villain. But in all fairness, she at least first shanghaied Alia into helping, so Manon always has someone there looking out for her, so it's not too irresponsible, right?
unless the same thing happened in Prime Queen. Let's say, hypothetically, that Marinette decided to do an interview as Ladybug, even though Tiki says it's a bad idea, and somehow it slipped her mind that she regularly babysits for the woman who's supposed to interview her, so she calls her best friend and then ditches her with a kid yet again. That'd be pretty bad, right? Is Nadia paying her to babysit? Is there no other teenager available to watch a kid for a few hours?
Then the icing on the cake is in Simple Man, when Marinette is yet again supposed to be babysitting Manon. Alia drops in hoping to get Marinette to babysit her twin sisters so she can go on a date with Nino, but sees that Marinette already has her hands full. Alia literally offers to cancel her date, but Marinette insists that she can handle all three of the girls. Then the exact same scene happens with Nino coming over to ask about babysitting his little brother so he can go on the aforementioned date with Alia. Now it's one teenage girl and four kids aged, 5 to 7-ish years old? That's a very demanding age. But Marinette assures them all that she's got this and insists that she can watch all four kids. Until Adrian calls from the scene of a photo shoot with a sewing emergency that only Marinette can fix.
Granted, on a professional shoot for a globally renowned fashion brand, you'd think they'd have anyone on site who could sew. But why do that when you could just exploit a 15-year-old? Well, another one, at least. So Marinette just drops off all the kids that she previously insisted she could watch, with potentially the least equipped person she can think of, her curmudgeonly grandfather, Roland.
That's not how it's done!
And of course he gets akumatized out of frustration. With 4 kids to watch, I'd get akumatized too. Number 4, Daughter of the Year. Let's just get this clear right off the bat. Sabine is a saint. In Qilin, the only other explanation is that Sabine somehow has a snake miraculous with the way she anticipates literally everything and provides a solution before Marinette even stumbles her ungrateful ass down the stairs. How does Marinette thank her? Marinette is late to the bus, over a month late for Mother's Day, and then ditches her own mother on the bus in order to go buy her some belated Mother's Day flowers, with Sabine's own money to boot.
Since Marinette has Sabine's wallet and bus ticket and ID, she invariably misses the bus. Sabine ends up stopped by a way overzealous bus inspector and winds up arrested for the well-known and rampant crime of bus ticket fraudulery.
Sabine gets akumatized, Ladybug and Cat Noir save the day, and then to make matters worse, Marinette offers to pay the bus fine, again with Sabine's own money since Marinette forgot her own wallet. Did we mention the said bus fine was about to be waived, but Marinette insisted on paying it to show her responsibility? This episode gives me a headache. Sabine, you deserve better.
Number 3. Phone Thief. You know it, you love it, one of the classic Marinette blunders, only slightly less well known than never get involved in a land war in Asia or never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
In Copycat, Marinette accidentally leaves Adrian a comically embarrassing voicemail at the behest of Alia. But to fix this problem, Marinette decides to sneak into the school where Adrian is having his fencing practice, which she knows because she spies on him, and then steals his phone out of his locker to break into it and erase her own message.
She does all of this while playing hooky for the ceremony literally next door to her house that's supposed to honor Ladybug and Cat Noir. This in turn causes that creepy statue guy to get upset because he, an adult, has a massive crush on a teenage girl. Cat Noir makes it worse by insinuating a relationship between him and Ladybug, as one does, and Statue Dork gets turned into copy creep.
Of course, by the end of the episode, they defeat the villain and Marinette manages to delete the message and return Adrian's phone. But oh my gosh, the levels of cringe. Not only did Marinette commit theft and massive amounts of privacy violations, crossing so many boundaries, but she also got someone akumatized and endangered her partner. Again. Number 2, the worst listener.
Daddy Cop is painful to watch. It opens with Sabrina feeling terrible and then seeing the opportunity to use her powers as Miss Hound to help Marinette, who then ditches her instantly. Marinette is so caught up with fabricating her magical moment with Adrian for their 100th kiss that she forgets all of her friends are coming over, doesn't listen to what Zoe is saying, doesn't listen to the rest of the girls, and doesn't even listen to her own boyfriend.
And like, girl, you've kissed this boy 99 times. Surely you can act more normal around him. Do you have to wig out over every little thing still? Is this what it was like being a teenager? Was I ever this cringy? Shut up, Trick. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Anyway, Marinette, as she so often does, continues to just get in her own way. Like if she had actually stopped for 1 second, she would know that Zoe was trying to invite Sabrina. Or she could have talked to her friends about accidentally double booking herself. All of them have bent over backwards trying to help her get with Adrian. They would have 100% postponed their movie night for her. Or maybe she could have heard Adrian say he wasn't coming over any of the many times he did so, and respected that no means no.
And all of this culminates with Marinette being surprised to open the door to Sabrina. She's so disappointed that Adrian didn't come over, after telling her he wouldn't, multiple times, that she doesn't even acknowledge Sabrina's feelings and just shuts the door in her face. Ouch.
And before we get to the number one worst thing that Marinette ever does so far, here are some honorable mentions.
Deleting Alia's video in the mime right after Alia tells her how important it is and that she's worried Marinette will ruin it with her clumsiness. And then she lies about it. And she steals Alia's phone. Like, have you learned nothing at all after the copycat incident, Marinette?
Literally ever dating Luca. Like, no one thinks that she likes him more than she likes Adrian. Even Luca knows. Marinette forgets their date and calls him Adrian more than once, and that should have been her first clue that this is #unhealthy.
Promising a big Heroes Day picnic and then just expecting her parents to cater hundreds of baked goods in like 2 hours flat. Talk about entitlement and lack of consideration, not to mention lack of planning. Marinette is supposedly good at planning. Did that just dry up for this episode so she can have a personal kerfuffle to worry about? Like, she's lucky that her friends bailed her out on that one.
And after Adrian declares his love for her in song form in front of his ex, her ex, and all of their friends, she responds with,
I need the moo!
And runs away. She's got to have that ladybug luck leaching out into her civilian form, because any normal person would run far, far away after that. I don't care that Adrian was homeschooled and is socially awkward. Even a sea cucumber would know that Marinette is acting batshit insane.
And now finally number 1, the Soaponator incident. Marinette does a lot of growing up between Origins and the end of Season 5. She learns how to stand up for herself and other people, learns how to trust and work with a team, how to become the guardian and a leader, and against all odds, she learns how to function like a normal human being around Adrian Agreste, even going so far as being able to date him, hold hands with him, talk to him in full sentences, and even kiss him.
Yet for all the contented Adrianette shippers out there, in Season 6, Marinette takes a bizarre turn for the worse and suddenly loses all of her recently acquired cool. She goes from being a normal, happy girlfriend to an even worse caricature of her previous fangirly, stalkery self, seemingly out of nowhere.
In Illustrator, Marinette suddenly can't even remember how to sit next to Adrian like a normal human being. She forgets how to hold hands. She can barely speak. She literally runs away from their date multiple times to do mundane ladybug things because she's so painfully awkward. It gets to the point where Adrian thinks she doesn't even like him anymore, and she has to explain that yes, she likes him, she's just shy again because reasons.
But it gets worse. Her insanity reaches peak cringe in Sublimation, when she literally causes an Akuma attack due to absolutely nothing but her own insecurity. What makes this the worst thing she's done as Marinette, in our opinion, is that there was no possible reason on earth for her to have done it. She feels insecure and weird about Adrian running with Sublime, and rather than talk to him about it, or anything remotely reasonable, she instead chooses to stalk Sublime from behind a plant, and act in the goofiest, most immature way possible.
Sublime, of course, notices because Marinette is being as subtle as a foghorn, and asks Adrian what's up with the weird girl. And he explains it away by saying, yeah, she's just like that. Like, what? She does this enough for him to be used to it? I thought she stopped. Like, surely after Illustrator and their conversation, she pulled herself together, but I guess not.
To make matters worse, Marinette follows Sublime into the bathroom and becomes the worst fake villain ever, Soaponator, to try and explain away her weirdness instead of just, explaining her weirdness. Like, yeah, Sublime seems intimidating and Marinette's jealousy is kind of understandable, but that's a prime example of why it's important to use your words and just communicate. Marinette's stupid antics directly cause Sublime's special running prosthetics to get ruined, and then Mean Mom Agent gets akumatized, all because Marinette couldn't handle talking to her own boyfriend, who has been nothing but loyal and devoted, about her obsessive and crippling insecurity. Honestly, Marinette, you should be better than this by now. For shame.
But that's enough Marinette bashing for now. For as infuriating and insufferable as she can be sometimes, Marinette is still a fantastic character with a good heart and quick wits, and she's done plenty to offset the aforementioned low points. Let's take a look at what we think are the top 5 best things Marinette has done in the show so far. Number 5, a good friend.
When she's not ditching everybody to save the world or spy on her crush or spazzing out over some nonsense, Marinette is actually a pretty good friend. In the Origins episode, Marinette checks in on Ivan, comforts him, and helps encourage him to go after Milan. She makes a banner for Alex and Kim's race and Timebreaker, does all the costumes and promotions for Kitty section, and pays attention, for the most part, to what her friends are feeling and what they need.
Even when she was sick in The Ruler, Marinette makes a point to encourage Mark and Nathaniel with her comic, and she ends up being the only reason their work is saved after all. She plans a birthday party for Alex in Dark Castle, constantly brings pastries to class, and is often giving her friends handmade, heartfelt gifts. I mean, she didn't get elected class representative for nothing. People trust her. They know she's always got their backs.
Yes, she's awkward and clumsy, and yes, she has a lot of seemingly odd quirks due to her constantly trying to protect her secret identity, but Marinette truly has a good heart, and at the end of the day, everyone knows that. Number 4, putting Adrian's feelings first.
In The Bubbler, it seems like Marinette finally has her chance to show Adrian how much she cares for him when she makes him a lovely handmade scarf for his birthday. She even signed the card, something that she will never remember to do again. But due to Gabriel's Father of the Year status, he forgets to even get Adrian another lame pen for the 4th year in a row, leaving Natalie to panic steal Marinette's present to pawn it off as from Gabriel.
Adrian is adorably and pathetically chuffed to finally have gotten a heartfelt gift from his deadbeat terrorist dad, and when Marinette hears him talking about how happy he is, she doesn't correct him on who it's from. Even when Alia tries to encourage her to tell him, Marinette refuses. She sees how happy he is, thinking it's from Gabe, and she can't bring herself to burst his bubble. Is it technically deceitful? Yeah, but this time she's trying to prefer and protect someone else's feelings rather than her own. She values Adrian's happiness over her own chances to impress him, and that's pretty selfless.
Number 3, supporting Kagami and Adrian. There's nothing quite as ironic as ending up as wingman for your crush, and yet that's exactly where Marinette finds herself after Adrian and Kagami start dating. She's understandably bummed, but after a little bit of moping, she takes her friendship with both of them seriously and really puts in a lot of effort to support them both in their relationship, even though it hurts her to do so. She stops trying to come between them, and in Heart Hunter, we see her truly trying to understand their relationship and remain friends with both of them.
Later, in Mr. Pigeon 72, Marinette goes to once again embarrassing lengths to try and help Kagami get back together with Adrian after they break up. She makes it her personal mission to make that Adrigami ship set sail once again. Too bad she didn't stop to listen why Kagami ended it in the first place, but while her methods are questionable, no one can argue that Marinette wasn't trying to act in her friend's best interests. Number 2, standing up to the bullies.
One thing Marinette and Ladybug have always had in common is that they can't stand injustice and they hate bullies. Having been the victim of Chloe's, Kim's, and who knows who else's bullying for years, Marinette finally grows a spine in Origins and makes it her mission to stand up for other people. She confronts Chloe every time she tries to put down and terrorize the other school kids and the teachers, no matter how many times it seems to backfire.
The biggest and most impressive example of this is in Confrontation, when Marinette finally takes down Chloe and Lila after the two of them plot to literally ruin every other student's futures by somehow forcing them into the wrong academic focus for their careers. Somehow none of the teachers nor the principal is able to stop this, but Marinette is able to conjure up one of her signature convoluted plans that not only exposes the plot, it also exposes Lila's long-standing lies to the whole school and frees them all from her weird, creepy thrall. She also manages to finally free Sabrina from the abuse and torment Chloe has inflicted, and none of this was motivated by petty revenge or wanting to put the bullies in their place. She just wanted to protect innocent people from being hurt by evil. And boy howdy did she deliver.
Now, once again, before we get to the number 1 best thing Marinette has ever done, here are some more honorable mentions.
She listens to Adrian when he tells her he doesn't want to be a model anymore. In Risk, nobody pays attention to how obviously unhappy Adrian is about the upcoming Gabriel advertisement campaign. Even Nino ignores his so-called best friend's distress, insisting that everyone wants to be a famous model. Marinette is the only one who gives Adrian space to feel his feelings and validate his opinions. She's his only true friend who bothers to hear him, and in that moment, she finally sees him as a complex person and not just her crush.
She supports Adrian through the dinner in Werepapas. Although Season 6 shows a bizarre recurrence of Marinette's inability to function around Adrian, despite the fact that they are dating, she has some moments of clarity where she acts more mature and normal and like a decent girlfriend. One good example is in Werepapas. Adrian is upset and worried about having to meet his estranged grandparents, and Marinette wants to help. When he makes it clear that he does want her there, she is immediately on board and does her best to be supportive, but not obtrusive, and doesn't even stick her nose in the conversation until the very end, when she simply says what Adrian and Natalie were thinking all along.
She bridges the gap between her dad and grandpa. In Bakerix, Marinette manages to end a decades-long family feud between her father, Tom, not Astruc, and his father, Roland. When she hears that they are estranged, she's determined to do what she can to fix the relationship so they can be a family again. And in spite of Roland's ambivalence and hostility and eventual akumatization, Marinette manages to worm her way into his heart through her knowledge of baking. Tom and Roland reunite and bury the hatchet, or whisk, or whatever. But when we see Roland again in Simple Man and Dearest Family, he seems to have completely let go of all previous animosity. And finally, the number one best thing that Marinette has done. She's a hero without a miraculous.
Going into battle armed with a miraculous that makes you nearly invulnerable and gives you super strength, speed, agility, and the ability to fix everything probably still takes guts, but running headlong into a fight armed with a helmet or a trash can or just your own wits would be utterly terrifying. And yet Marinette does exactly that on at least 3 occasions.
In Eve Illustrator, Marinette agrees to go on a date with Nathaniel's akumatized form in exchange for him agreeing not to hurt anyone, even Chloe. She manages to help Cat Noir ambush Nathaniel without using her miraculous, and even though she transformed for their final battle, she still had to face an Akuma unprotected.
In Feast, after Master Fu takes back her earrings, Marinette still puts on whatever disguise she can to chase after him and insists on facing the akumatized Centimonster with no thought of the danger she's facing. She's willing to put everything on the line to get Tiki back and prove that the world needs Ladybug.
But most of all, in Kwame's Choice 2, Marinette marches to her almost certain death to try one last time to save Paris. She's already given up Tiki and her earrings, and her replacement Scarabella has been ambushed by Monarch. Kitty Noir also got and Monarch is about to make his wish. In a last-ditch effort, Marinette paints a spotted makeshift costume and faces off against Monarch himself, armed with only a trash can disguised as a Lucky Charm. She gets the shit beat out of her and probably would have died had she not managed to fool Monarch into using the fake Lucky Charm. All that without a miraculous, proving once again that Marinette truly is the everyday Ladybug.
So what do you think? Do you agree with our assessment? Tune in for our next video where we discuss the best and worst of Ladybug and everything she does in costume. Please leave a comment letting us know what you think is the best and worst thing Marinette ever did. We'll see you next time for part 2 of this video. Thanks for watching.